Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews.
We need your support, so if you like what we do, please support us by joining our Patreon page. Don't forget to check out our partner Pureit Bowling at pureitbowling.com.
I'm excited to announce our new
Today
partnership
we're testing
with
the
Pureit
new
Bowling.
Storm Fever
Visit our
pitch.
partner pureitbowling.com
We are
and
testing
use
on
the
a
special code
33
Tamer
foot
when making
PBA
a purchase
wolf
to
pattern.
be entered into a monthly drawing.
First impressions, long story short, the Fever pitch is the skid flip of urethane. For value, I'm giving it a C+. Valuing a urethane ball can be pretty tricky. The Storm Fever pitch is moderately priced and offers something that will work for some and not for others, so your score may vary. Overall, I'm going to give the Fever pitch a C+. Again, scoring this ball is very tricky. Like with most urethane balls, they will work for a subset of bowlers and a subset of conditions. We decided to test on a 33-foot wolf pattern. This is for all intents and purposes a flat pattern at 1.23 to 1, but we use this pattern as all of our testers can use the Fever pitch on it. The short version is this is a snappy urethane, or at least it's snappy for a urethane ball. Now what I can say is this is a very different look to the traditional urethane. Instead of the typical starting at your feet and walking to the pocket, this pro urethane gets downlane pretty easily. It comes off the spot with strong angle, again for urethane. Don't get me wrong, throw it on a normal pattern and you'll clearly see the urethane in it, but on wolf, this thing is downright angular and continuous. My first instinct for me from the left side is I like the more traditional roll of urethane like the hot cell, which I've used to very good effect on this pattern. I like the early hook and long roll look of urethane, but many will like that it offers something completely different. I want to introduce Jordan. It seemed apropos to bring on a two-hander for a urethane test, and you can see right away how angular the Fever pitch can be. You can also see some of the urethane control where you can open the break point on a flat pattern by a board or two. You still can't miss in big or Jordan completely crosses over. It's still a tough flat pattern. Again, the extra stored energy made this pretty angular for urethane. A quick comparison to the hot cell kind of shows you again that more traditional urethane roll. Finally, Bryan's testing the Fever pitch, and obviously he's going to be playing direct as well. I mean, it is a short pattern. He's also pointing it up 5 the way I did, and you can see the length and snappier reaction of the Fever pitch. It's still a tight line for Bryan, but he was able to find it. Tough pattern means a tight line. It's almost like throwing an entry-level reactive ball in that it's not as aggressive as typical reactive stuff, but enough to get good angle. But it's probably a little less sensitive since it's finished at 2000 grit, so still has some, surface grit instead of reactive that would play cleaner and then over/under off the end of the pattern. Again, here you'll see the more traditional urethane roll from the Roto grip hot cell. Final thoughts. So where are we with the Storm Fever pitch? This is a difficult one. For a two-hander, this could be a ball that is usable on house or sport shots. They can whack it and still get some forgiveness while creating some continuous motion and angle. They will lose some of the forgiveness of the traditional urethane reaction. For a tweener like me, this would only come into play on short patterns, 35 foot or less. That's very typical for urethane for me. Urethane is very effective for me on these patterns, but as a lefty, I prefer the traditional urethane reaction that will hook early and just roll, which gives me more control. I will say I had a pretty good look with the Fever pitch on this pattern. For a stroker like Bryan, urethane is not something he typically looks at, and I doubt he would consider replacing his low-end slot with the Fever pitch. He's still going to prefer a low-end ball like the Deep Freeze or Destiny or even High Road Pearl. Nevertheless, the Fever pitch offers something intriguing in the urethane space that's very different.
I need to tell you the one Tamer bowling ball reviews.
Got the fever, and the holy prescription is stone 8.